What's up guys? So around a year ago, we had gotten footage of what seemed to be an open world survival map, which Epic Games had been working on. It's now been over a year and we haven't seen any news or info for this map since, so I thought it would be fun to take a look through all the footage and images we got for this mode, and discuss what might have happened to it. So let's get right into this. We had received a 2-minute video, which showed us around the island, and gave us a look at some cool builds, so let's start off by analyzing this. First off, we have the different tree types all labeled. This most likely wouldn't have been seen in game, but for testing purposes. We are then shown through some forests. To these weapon labels. These were most likely either there for testing, or maybe this could have been like a shop or market system. There's a bunch of primal themed weapons, and as you can see it's also a primal themed island, which is pretty cool. We are then shown through some forest grounds. And then we go through this brick wall, which leads up to this house. These furnaces are really nice, and overall it's a really cool house build. This could have possibly been the player's home. After this, we're taken even further to what seems to be some sort of farming grounds. Maybe we could have grown plants and food for survival, or some other sort of farming mechanics. We are then taken to what seems to be an unfinished version of the house we just saw, with some pieces in the wrong place, and no decoration. I believe this is just more examples to show how early into testing this map actually was, but it's still super cool to see what they were trying to do. We are then taken up this huge mountain, where the scenery starts to change into these tall alpine trees. And eventually we make it to the top, and get this really cool view of the entire island. It's super cool to see Epic try out new stuff like this, but it's a shame we never got to play it or even see it for ourselves. Now let's take a look at the images we have, because there's a bunch of them. Starting off with this. I believe that this is supposed to be a top view of the entire map, but I may be wrong. I'm not sure what else it could resemble, so I'm going to stick to that idea. It would have been super cool to get an actual overview map for the island. Next up is this image of the props we saw throughout the video. We have the houses, the tent campfire, and even the brick wall. This map was clearly unfinished, so imagine how cool it would have been, having multiple wooden buildings scattered around the island, with campsites and ancient structures. I do hope to see some sort of mode where we get something similar to this in the future. Next we have these higher quality pictures, which seem to be from the video. And finally is this image. It seems to be a normal picture, until you realize the character's body proportions. They are shaped more cartoony than we know them to be. And they all have cool RPG style weapons. I'm not sure if this was at all related to the survival map. But if it was, we could have possibly seen cool monsters and creatures like we see in the back, along with spears, shields, and magical weapons. Now, what do I think happened to this map? There are a few possibilities. The most likely one is that this map got scrapped early on and wasn't continued. This makes the most sense as we haven't heard anything about this map in over a year. It's a big shame if this is the case, but it is what it is. The second option is that this was only made for testing things out, and was never meant to be a map, or anything for the public. I'm sure Epic have made plenty of test maps, simply to test very specific things, and this could have been one of them. And the final outcome is the least likely, but it's that they are still working on some sort of survival mode. This could mean that they are still working on this specific map, or maybe a whole brand new map. There's no evidence to give us a satisfying answer, but in the end, it's really cool to look back at this stuff, and I'm sure many of you aren't aware that this was even a thing at one point. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and want to show me some support, consider using code NOVAJ in the item shop. And if you don't use mine, make sure you are using someone's code. If you like this style of video where I talk about things besides creative, let me know in the comments, as it was cool to look back at this stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.